refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. We had some technical difficulties with my laptop, but we are back, and they're still going on. Jesus Christ. Basically, I gotta hit like sound effects and videos twice for them to play. But anyway, we're back, and we're going over the games for today. Like I said, we would. We got 3 games now because of where USC is in the standings and the Big Ten standings. I didn't really want to talk about it. Also, I was going to talk about Boise State, Utah State. Boise State was still on the streak, but they lost. So we're not going to talk about that one. We also, at the end of this preview, we're going to talk about some upsets because I got now numerical upsets, college basketball ranking upsets. I don't want to hear, they were favorites again. College basketball traditional upsets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 upsets already this week. So we'll talk about those at the end of the show. But we're going to start with the 3 games that I got for y'all today. The first one being the Battle of Arkansas at Alabama. 20th ranked Arkansas takes on 25th ranked Alabama. Y'all know I love me some Alabama, but y'all also know I do not think Bama should be ranked at this current moment. But this win, if they win, could prove why A, they should be ranked, and B, why Carl should shut up. But anyway, this game is 7 o'clock on ESPN. Alabama's 3.5-point home favorites in this matchup against Arkansas. Now, Taylor Bowen is, I believe, questionable with an undisclosed injury in this matchup. So that's something to look out for. But Arkansas is led by, obviously, a lot of people say one of the most slept-on freshmen in the country, and Darius Acuff, averaging 21.2 points per game, 6.3 assists per game. Malik Thomas, averaging 15 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. And Trevon Brazile, averaging 12.8 points per game, 7.2 rebounds, and 1.6 steals and 1.7 blocks. Now, Arkansas is a team that really gets most of their production from their starting 5. So, and they really don't shoot the 3 ball as much as other teams. I mean, really beyond the first 3 guys I named, they don't really shoot a 3 ball at all. But their X factor is going to be Billy Richmond. Billy Richmond III with his scoring, averaging 9.6 points per game. They're going to have to put the ball in the basket a ton because that's what Alabama does. They don't really do defense as much at Bama, but they run a gun and get up 3. So Arkansas is going to have to put up a ton of points. Now, Alabama, they're led by LeBaron Fallon, averaging 21.3 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 4.9 assists per game, 1.3 steals per game. Aiden Holloway, 17 points per game and 3.9 assists. And Amari Allen, averaging 11.5 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 1.2 steals per game. Now, that X factor to me is going to be Latrell Wrightsell. Why? Because of his shooting ability from beyond the arc, averaging 36.1% from the three-point line. If Bama can get a bunch of threes to go up and in, it could cause Arkansas to play some catch-up. Well, like I said, the ability with them not really being a three-point shooting team and not really getting much bench production. But I'm still going with Arkansas here. Why? Because Bama's defense, man, Bama's defense is not the greatest, and they give up a ton of points. They put up a ton of points, but they give up a ton of points. And I think Arkansas is just a better team defensively. I think Arkansas would do a good job defending the three-point line against Alabama. Now, down low, I think they'll be fine, but it could cause some troubles. But overall, Bama just wants to chuck up a ton of threes, and I don't think that this Bama team, with the lack of defense, is going to be able to, one, maintain a lead if they get a lead, but two, withstand a big lead. So give me Arkansas as road dogs to win this game. Not really the traditional upset because they're 20th in the country while Bama's 25th, but I got Arkansas in this matchup. And we'll move on to 23rd ranked BYU. Now, they are without Richie Sanders. He's out for the remainder of the year. I think he tore his ACL, if I remember correctly. And they're going against 4th ranked Arizona, who is without Koa Pete, who Koa Pete is sidelined for at least a week. He is not playing in this game. And I think they play Houston on Saturday. He will, from what it seems like, will not play against Houston as well. But this game is 9 o'clock on ESPN. Both teams missing big contributors. So for BYU, they're 11.5 point road dogs. Now, they were down as much as 16 in the game at Provo, cut it all the way down to 1 point, but it took a Braden Berry's block and free throws to escape in Provo. Now Arizona's back in Tucson where they lost last game to Texas Tech, which, side note, man, disgusting news. JT Toppin is out for the remainder of the year for Texas Tech towards ACL in the game against Arizona State last night. So prayers to him. Unfortunate news for the sport, and I hope he gets well soon. But that's just terrible news. But we got to keep it moving. BYU, they're obviously led by the phenomenal freshman, AJ DeBanster, who's averaging 24.4 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1.2 steals. Rob Wright, averaging 18.7 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 1.2 steals per game. And Kiba Keita averaging 6.4 points per game, 7.1 rebounds per game, and 1 steal per game and 1.8 blocks per game. Now, the X factor to me is going to have to be Kennard Davis. He's going to have to step up. Now, listen to me when I say this, because I'm not about to say what you think you're about to hear. Kennard Davis is going to have to step up scoring and three-point shooting because of the absence of Richie Saunders. Now, what does that mean? I'm not saying he is the three-point shooter that Richie Saunders is. I'm not even saying he's the scorer that Richie Saunders is. What I am saying, with Richie Saunders being gone, he's going to have to step his play up to help the Cougars of BYU. Yes, I think he shoots better than what the number says. He shoots like 28, 29% from three. I think he's a better three-point shooter than that. He's going to have to step it up, however, in the absence of Richie Saunders. So Kennard Davis is going to have to be my X factor here. Next, Arizona. They are led by now Braden Berries. Braden Berries, the freshman, who's actually having a great year, averaging 15.7 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and 1.6 steals. Jaden Bradley, 13.4 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 1.8 steals per game. And Montionis Krevas, who's averaging 11.1 points per game, 8.7 rebounds, and 1.9 blocks per game. Now, I have a similar X factor for Zona, like I did BYU. Is going to be another guy who has to step up, and I think he will be inserted into the starting lineup now that Cole Pete is out for at least a week. And that's Toby Awaka. Toby Awaka is going to have to step up. Now, he's not the scorer that Cole Pete is. He's not. He's improved as a scorer. Do not get me wrong, because he's doing things I never saw him do at Tennessee. So he's an improved scorer, but he's going to have to step up just a little bit with the absence of Cole Pete. Like I said, being inserted in the lineup. We already know he's really good defensively. Him and Krivas should be a really good defensive duo. But I think he may have to step up some offensive production. Now, you do have DeOrso. You do have, like I said, Braden Berries and Jaden Bradley. So you do have a lot of offense within Arizona. But Cole Pete offense, I think, might be missed. So he may have to step up a ton. But I'm ultimately going with Zona. I'm going with Zona, man. Zona, I just think, is the more dominant team. BYU's kind of been on a slum. Yes, that they broke the losing streak last week with 2 wins. Do not get me wrong. But I just don't think this BYU team is good enough, especially losing Richie Saunders, to beat this Arizona team. Arizona's 2 losses last week came to Kansas, which is a really good team. They're used to playing without Darren Peterson. And it came to Texas Tech, who prior to the bad news of JT Toppin, they were a team that some could see, depending on how the bracket shake out, make an Elite 8 Final Four run. That's kind of over now with JT Toppin being out for the year. But they didn't lose to no scrubs. BYU, on the other hand, I'm not saying Oklahoma State scrubs, but compared to Texas Tech and Kansas, they're not really the greatest competition. Speaking of, Kansas plays Oklahoma State later tonight. I'm not talking about that game because Oklahoma State's like at the bottom of the Big 12. But yeah, I'm going with Arizona, man. I just think Arizona's the superior team in this matchup. And the last game I have for y'all is a battle to keep pace in the SEC. Ultimately, I think the SEC is Florida's to lose. But we have 19th ranked Vandy at Mizzou, which this is a good game because Mizzou has beaten some teams at home. Mizzou is beating some teams, period. But this game is 9 o'clock on the SEC Network, and Mizzou is 3.5-point home dogs in this matchup. So if Mizzou wins, it's the traditional upset and the gambling matchup upset. But Vandy is led by Tyler Tanner, averaging 18.3 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 5.4 assists, 2.5 steals. Duke Miles, I think, is still out for this game. I haven't seen anything different. Tyler Nickel averaging 14.8 points per game. Dwight McLaughlin averaging 10.2 points per game and 6.9 rebounds. And 8K Okirike is my X factor with his activity yet again. And I think he'll be guarding Mark Mitchell, who was the leader of the Mizzou Tigers. And I think his defensive ability and his activity will be huge for Vanderbilt. Speaking of Mizzou, again, led by Mark Mitchell, who's averaging 7.2 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. Jaden Stone averaging 14.9 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 1 steal. And Jacob Cruz averaging 10.2 points per game and 4.4 points per game, rebounds per game. Now, the X factor to me is going to be Sean Phillips with his length and his shot blocking activity and his rebounding. He's averaging 5.2 rebounds per game and 1.5 blocks per game. And I think they're going to need a shot blocking with guys like Tyler Tanner trying to get to that rim and finish in the paint. So I think Sean Phillips will be the X factor for the Missouri Tigers. But ultimately, I have Vanderbilt, man. Mizzou, I know they're coming off a tough loss to Texas. They absolutely got destroyed by Texas. But Vandy, I feel like it's kind of turning the corner without Duke Miles back to the old Vandy team that was undefeated at a point in time. Now, again, losing Duke Miles, big hit for Vandy. But I think they're learning to play without him because they've been missing him. So I think Vandy wins this game on the road, man, and keeps pace with Kentucky, who just got up. Well, we'll say that for like another 5 seconds. With Kentucky, with Florida, Arkansas, teams in the SEC. So give me Vandy to win this one. And that's all the games I have for y'all. So we're going to move on to just a segment because, again, 7 upsets in 2 days is insane. We got upsets this week, man. Upsets this week. And just thank God my team was not a part of that this week because last week we were. Speaking of my team and upsets, we got a team that was a part of it last week doing it to my team, a part of it this week, and a part of me felt like it was going to happen. Part of me felt happy it happened, but then who they did it to was like, ugh. But anyway, we got Houston, who I did pick to win Monday night, up 10, and Hilton Magic happens again. They lose to Iowa State 70-67 on the road. Again, Houston was the gambling dog, but in the traditional sense, Houston was obviously upset 6-2. North Carolina, again, gambling-wise, UNC was 7.5-point dogs, but in the traditional set, UNC is 16. NC State is unranked. Gets blown out by NC State, but UNC did not have Henry Vezar or Caleb Williams. So technically an upset in the traditional terms, but were we like surprised to happen? No. But they lose 82-58. St. Louis, now this one was surprising. 18th ranked St. Louis loses to Rhode Island. I don't think they ever took a lead in the second half. 81-76 on the road. So, top team in the A10 goes down to Rhode Island. Louisville loses 95-85, 21st ranked Louisville to SMU. They split the home and home in the conference. SMU pulls away late in that ball game. That was a nice little back and forth. But shout out SMU for a ranked win. Wisconsin, 24th ranked Wisconsin. They get dominated by Ohio State. Final score 86-69. Ohio State pulled away early. Wisconsin kind of made it a little close, and then Ohio State pulled away again. So shout out to Ohio State for that. Nebraska at Hawkeye Arena. 9th ranked Nebraska goes down 57-52. Now, Nebraska was dogs. Then they became favorites, and then they became dogs again. So that one kind of flip-flop, but that was a good game. That was a nice little back and forth. Iowa was up as much as like 10 in the first half. Nebraska hit a 3 at the end of the halftime to cut it to 5, and then went back and forth from there. That was a really good game. And then lastly, Texas Tech gets upset by Arizona State, 67-72, 13th ranked Texas Tech. And what looked like to be a game of like a choke-off. Like, all right, I got this game. Now I want to choke it. All right, we gave you a chance to win it, but now we want to choke it. Like, late game, Arizona State throws a sloppy pass. I believe that could have tied it, and I think he missed 2 free throws to tie the game. Then Pete Johnson, for whatever reason, tries to lay the ball up with like 9 or 10 seconds left, and he misses, giving Texas Tech an opportunity for a rebound. Now the ball goes out on Texas Tech. Didn't have a challenge because they lost one previous. Then they split a pair of free throws. Christian Anderson gets the ball. They don't foul, but he loses the ball, turns it over, and Mo Odom sinks 2 free throws to ice the game. But the end of that game was like, who wants to lose this game more? But nonetheless, Arizona State upsets Texas Tech by 5 at home, 72-67. And those are all the traditional upsets. Now, we do have another technical upset, and Grand Canyon absolutely beating San Diego State last night on the road. That was very surprising in my opinion. I watched that game. Grand Canyon second half just was getting offensive boards, making big plays, getting stops, forcing turnovers. That was a good game as well. But those are the upsets for this week. And like I said, it's only Wednesday, so we still got today. We could possibly get an upset with Bama over Arkansas, Mizzou over Vandy. We still got tomorrow, Friday, big slate Saturday, some on Sunday, Michigan State, Ohio State Sunday. So that's all we got for y'all today. Now to do some house. Well, first of all, like, comment, share, subscribe to the video, please. If you like what you're listening to, appreciate it. Normally don't go live on Wednesdays. Normally not enough games, but we got some upsets, some games. So I figured I'd do a show for y'all. But please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the network. Speaking of the network, we have multiple shows. We have the main show featuring Joe Tomo and Dave, which they go live Mondays and Thursdays between 7 to 8:30ish. So make sure you check them out. We have Unfazed, who I'm not sure if they're going live tonight or not, but catch them when they can. They're probably switching over to NBA now since, football season's over. We got BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Make sure y'all check him out. World Baseball Classic coming up. Regular season, MLB opening day is like probably, a month and a week, maybe 4 or 5 weeks away from now. So make sure y'all check him out. FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Obviously, fantasy football is now over. The NFL season's over. But be on the lookout for content from him. RBO, Real Ballers Only, featuring Vaughn, NBA show. NBA returns tomorrow. My Pistons play the Knicks. So he had an episode actually last night. So make sure y'all check that out. We got Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports. And we have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo. Boxing episodes. They go live on Sundays, not every Sunday, but when they do go live, it is on Sundays. So make sure you check them out. It's around 6:30, 7 o'clock for all your boxing needs. And last but not least, we have Zero Sports Talk with Griffey, which, again, new sports show. Don't really know timing and stuff like that. Just catch it whenever you can. But that's all I got for y'all today. I don't know if I will see y'all Friday. I know I'll see y'all Saturday for sure. So just be on the lookout. But until then, I'm gone. Peace.